In what is easily one of the most stunning and earth-shattering developments in modern NFL history, the kind of moment that stops the football world in its tracks and leaves millions of fans staring at their screens in disbelief, the Dallas Cowboys have reportedly secured a deal to bring in none other than Bill Belichick, the legendary mastermind behind one of the greatest dynasties ever, to become their new head coach, and the ripple effect from this single decision is already sending shockwaves across every corner of the league, across social media platforms, across sports networks, and into the conversations of fans who never imagined they would live to see this type of headline in reality. Just think about the magnitude of this. For decades, Belichick has been the embodiment of discipline, strategy, football IQ, and championship pedigree, the unshakable presence on the sideline whose stoic expression and meticulous attention to detail became symbolic of an era of dominance. And now that same aura is suddenly being transported to Dallas, America's team, the franchise that lives in constant spotlight, the franchise that carries the largest expectations, and the franchise that has been starving for a legitimate chance to reclaim its place on top of the football mountain for nearly 30 years. You don't have to be a Cowboys fan to understand how seismic this is. Even the most casual viewer can feel the ground rumbling beneath their feet as the NFL landscape tilts dramatically in the Cowboys' direction. For years, critics have said Dallas needs discipline, needs structure, needs accountability, needs a leader with a decorated resume, needs someone who isn't afraid to challenge complacency and elevate the team's standards, and now they've gone and hired the coach who practically wrote the book on those qualities. And let's not pretend for a second that this was a predictable outcome, because even though people joked about Belichick leaving for a new challenge, few truly believed he would end up in Dallas of all places, working directly under Jerry Jones, a man known for his involvement in every aspect of the Cowboys' operations, his strong personality, and his deep emotional investment in the team. And yet, the moment the news broke, everything suddenly made sense: the ambition, the star power, the mutual desire to win at the highest level, the craving to cement legacies, the hunger for one more championship, one more run, one more crack at immortality in the football world. Jerry Jones has always been a big swing thinker, a showman, a risk taker, and Bill Belichick has always been a system builder, a culture setter, a cold, calculated strategist who thrives under pressure and always looks 2 steps ahead. The idea of these two powerhouse personalities aligning for one historic mission to finally bring a Lombardi trophy back to Dallas feels like the plot of a sports documentary that future generations of fans will watch with awe. And now let's talk about what this means for the players, because their world just changed overnight, especially for Dak Prescott. The moment this pairing was hinted at, analysts erupted into debates. Would Belichick keep Dak, reshape him, elevate him, or replace him altogether? Belichick has always demanded precision from his quarterback's timing, discipline, adaptability, protection of the football, mastery of situational awareness, and Dak is walking into the most important phase of his career under the most demanding coach he's ever had. This isn't going to be business as usual for Dak. This is going to be a reinvention, a transformation, or a proving ground that determines his legacy in Dallas. Under Belichick, no job is guaranteed, no role is secure unless it is earned daily, and Dak will either rise to the highest level of his entire career or find himself facing the harshest scrutiny he's ever experienced. But beyond Dak, look at the rest of this roster. Think about Micah Parsons, a generational defensive talent, already one of the most explosive hybrid defenders in the league. Think about what Belichick has done in the past with versatile pieces: linebackers who thread the line between edge rusher and coverage defender, players who can be moved around like chess pieces, used to terrorize offenses and create confusion pre-snap. Micah under Belichick is a scary, terrifying thought for every offensive coordinator in the NFL, because Belichick knows how to maximize a weapon like that better than almost any coach in history. And then there's Trevon Diggs, a ball-hawking corner whose aggressive style can be fine-tuned and sharpened into something even more dangerous under a system that thrives on disguise and unpredictability. Think about the younger defensive players: Darren Bland, Osa Odighizuwa, Marquise Bell, each of them raw, talented, and perfectly suited for Belichick's signature brand of controlled chaos. This isn't just a defense with potential anymore, This is a defense about to be sculpted by the greatest defensive mind of the last generation, and the league should be terrified of what that could look like by midseason. But the impact goes even further. This isn't just about X's and O's, or schemes, or roster tweaks. This is about culture. This is about the Cowboys walking into training camp knowing that everything will be different: the pace, the expectations, the accountability, the attention to detail. Belichick is notorious for his demanding practice structure, his obsession with situational football, his laser-focused approach to preparation, and his ability to get players to buy into the system, even when they're not household names. No more off-season distractions, no more sloppy penalties, no more lack of discipline in big moments. Under Belichick, the Cowboys are going to be coached harder, pushed further, and held accountable in ways they haven't seen in decades. And for fans, this creates a new feeling, something Cowboys fans haven't had in a long time: legitimate belief that this organization is ready to go all in, fully, completely, without hesitation. Cowboys fans have dealt with disappointment for years: playoff collapses, coaching controversies, roster inconsistencies, but this move is a clear declaration from Jerry Jones himself that he's not settling for mediocrity or false hope, not in the twilight of his career, not when the window is still open, not when the Lombardi Trophy has eluded Dallas for so long. Bringing in Belichick is the ultimate statement that winning is the priority above all else, even above ego, even above comfort, even above long-standing traditions. And what does this mean for the rest of the NFC? It means every team in the conference is suddenly reevaluating their plans, their strategies, their expectations, because the Cowboys just became a team no one wants to face in December or January. Rival fanbases may scoff now, but deep down, they know this changes everything. The Eagles, the 49ers, the Packers, the Lions, everyone has to adjust. Belichick brings a level of unpredictability that makes every matchup more complicated, every game plan more stressful, every sideline decision more crucial. And not only is the league adjusting, but the media landscape is about to explode. Every press conference is going to be dissected, every roster move debated, every Belichick quote analyzed and replayed. The Cowboys were already the most talked about team in football. With Belichick at the helm, they become the most polarizing storyline in professional sports. And that's the point: this isn't just a coaching hire, this is the start of a new era, the dawn of a storyline destined to dominate headlines for the entire season and beyond. A franchise with iconic history but decades of heartbreak. A coach with legendary accomplishments but something left to prove without his former quarterback. Two legacies intertwining at the perfect moment, two giants of football uniting for one final push toward greatness. Whether this ends in glory or collapse, whether it becomes a triumphant chapter or a dramatic unraveling, the entire world will be watching, because this is the most compelling football experiment of our generation. So buckle up, Cowboys fans and NFL fans alike, because this isn't just another offseason move, this is a radically new identity forming before our eyes. A shift that will redefine expectations and ignite hope in a fanbase that has been waiting far too long to experience greatness again. And now, with Bill Belichick stepping into the building, the countdown to history begins.